All right, everybody, happy Saturday. So, because technology hates us so bad today and life is just life in us the way it is, we're just going to record this and upload it to you later. Feel free to chime in, leave us some comments because we really want to know what you think on this topic. So Missy, I know we started out with we really don't have an opinion. We're
Hmm.
just we're just saying um all things the Oscars,
Hmm.
we're over it.
Very much.
However,
Hmm.
since it has taken over the algorithm for the entire week,
Hmm.
um, I think we both felt it was only befitting to at least chime in just just a little, right? And so I think everybody either were like me, they watched the Oscars happening live, which was just a complete, like, literally I was sitting there like I was clutching my imaginary pearls,
Hmm.
right? um or they heard about it, right? And so what were your thoughts about the Oscars and about
Um,
the whole situation?
I, to be honest, to be very, very truthful, I really don't have an opinion. Chris Rock is a comedian. That's just the nature of the beast with his line of work. I do not think that he was joking about her hair
Mhm.
or the condition or the medical condition that she has.
Mhm.
It was just a joke. Now, I would tell you where I have a problem, and I know prior to, you had made a comment and something to the effect of being in the public. It's a couple, a married couple. That part right there, and I apologize, I can't remember what else you said. And I made a slick little, chat comment or whatever. I'm like, I am not the person to be talking to about love. Hee hee ha ha, right? And I think for me with that situation, because you have a relationship that the wife made it known on live television that you cheated. Entanglement, situationship, girl, call it whatever you want to.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so I just think that first of all, I mean, again, we're told that he didn't know she did this live, so we're finding out in real time like he did, right? I
Mhm.
think what we saw was a buildup of frustration, humiliation, embarrassment, and unfortunately, you took it out on the person that you thought disrespected your wife, but you laughed, but you had a reaction after she rolled her eyes.
Yeah.
So I think it's more than her medical condition with her hair, right? I think it's more than what the joke of GI Jane 2. It goes deeper than that. I think he is hurting. I think he's hurt.
Mhm.
America saw this. Millions of people are laughing when he made the comment. And so I'm pretty sure he's like, Dag, if they're laughing about the G.I. Jane joke, can you imagine what they laughed at, 7, 8, 9 months ago? So
Mhm.
he's probably seeing himself as the butt of the joke, a spectacle right now. Um, eh, I'm a firm believer that, in marriages, and I'm not married, I have been married, but
Mhm.
I also know that what happens at home stays at home.
Mhm.
So you have a wife who's running her mouth. And I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Mhm.
Now, either A, you keep your mouth shut, or you suffer the consequences about it. And that's just real talk. And so I think that's where my opinion lies. I think what we saw goes deeper than this.
Right. Yeah. You know what? So here's what I said um for like the, third, fourth time we was trying to do this live.
Uh-huh.
People that really, really know me know, you, I struggle with I struggle when I
Excuse
see
me.
couples and their relationship being dragged in public, right?
Mhm.
That is near and dear to my heart.
Mhm.
Um, Probably because I've been in that situation, right? Like
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
have been the one in which
Excuse me.
my relationship is playing out in the public eye, and people who don't live in my house have something to say about a
Mhm.
relationship they're not in, right?
Mhm.
Um, Matter of fact, it probably still happens. I don't know. But I'm just not, it saddens me. It
Mhm.
really saddens me when I see everybody's mouth on,
Mhm.
oh, well, it's probably this or it's probably that,
Mhm.
right? Because that's all we know from the outside looking in. All we know is what it
All
probably,
we know is what she said on the red table.
right, right. But even okay,
Mhm.
so all right, so let's roll it back. Let's roll it back then to the
Ouch.
red table
Uh-huh.
talk, right? It's the whole entanglement situation. Well, even with that, we still only know what they allowed us to be in as
Mhm.
we watched the red table talk.
Mhm.
So we would be foolish to really believe that what was expressed, even with the entire entanglement situation, was all there was to it.
Mhm.
We still only got what they chose to give us. So yes, she put that out there. Um, However, again, I think I'm always going to look at things from a like this cube, this three-dimensional cube angle,
Mhm.
because there's her side, there's his side, there's the truth somewhere else out there. There's her perception, his perception, and then in this case, the perception.
16.7 million other people's perception too.
Right.
Yeah.
So honestly, I was sad, right? I was sad to see how people were dragging Jada. I was sad just to see how people were dragging Will. Um, and to be quite honest,
Mhm.
even when we decided that we wanted to tackle this topic, because initially I didn't even want to tackle this topic. Like I did, to me,
Oh, I didn't either.
yeah, it's not even something I want to shed light on from a perspective of, oh, well, I think it's this, or well, I think they were personally going through. No,
Mhm.
I think we saw pain
Oh,
play out
absolutely. And
in a
brokenness.
very, and brokenness play out in a very public way.
Mhm.
But from my perspective, what I really wanted to focus on, even when I just even during the week, and maybe this is why life was life and me so hard this past
Mhm.
week. But what I really thought about and was really challenged with was how we as a community, right? Like how we as people
Mhm.
did what we do,
Mhm. Mhm.
which is we looked at a situation, we drew our conclusions, we passed judgment, but in the moment, in
Mhm.
the moment that it happened, only two people that we know of went to Will
Mhm.
and actually in that moment had either a word of encouragement or something,
Mhm.
right? Now,
Mhm.
I am very hopeful, and I'm sure there were more people possibly that, maybe spoke to Will, Jada, and even Chris afterwards to maybe offer sound advice, maybe offer wisdom.
Mhm.
But usually, what we see play out is people always got their mouth on folks, but they won't go to the person and actually say anything.
Mhm.
That was what I saw us do as
Mhm.
a community. You
Mhm.
saw you saw Tyler Perry.
Mhm.
It was said that Tyler Perry, he went and he spoke to Will,
So well. Mhm.
as did Denzel. They weren't the only black people there.
Mm-mm. Bradley Cooper went to him as well.
Okay, so like I said, I know
Mhm.
there were some that they named, and I'm
Mhm.
sure there were others, right?
Mhm.
But as a community, as humans, what we usually do in whatever sphere or circle of influence we have
Mhm.
is we got a ton to say behind closed doors. We have a ton to say with our Twitter, Instagram,
Mhm.
Facebook fingers, and a lot of times, even when we're on social media, we're chiming in about people and circumstances. Maybe they're in our circle of influence,
Mhm.
but then we're not going and sharing and trying to uplift, trying to give wisdom or just be encouraging to the person that will drag.
Mhm.
Like we'll drag people all day. And so what I want for us as a community to do better with is can we have that same energy when it comes to actually going to the people who we actually have relationships with
Mhm.
when we see them messing up,
Mhm.
when we see them doing something wrong. Can we have this same energy?
Oh, we could, but we choose not to.
But we choose not to.
Mhm.
That was what
We
saddened
want
me.
to be responsible, but nobody wants the responsibility.
Oh, I like that. We want to be
And I think that's
responsible.
just, and it's unfortunate, you
Yeah.
know. Um I always tell people, like, I'm that chick that if I see you walk out of the restroom with toilet paper on your shoe or your skirt up, you know how many times as women we always check the back of the skirt, make
Right?
sure it's not, not up inside of our clothing or undergarments. But I want to be that one that I tell you that, hey, real quick, put your shirt
Right.
down. Your underwear is showing, or something that should not be showing is showing.
Right. Like,
But
can we be
again,
that kind of village? Like, for real.
what'd
Like,
you
we're
say? I'm sorry.
like, can we be that type village?
Oh yeah, we could, but we choose not to. It's
We choose.
easier to be messy than it is to be correct. I mean, it's unfortunate, and I think it's just the world we live in. Like, it's not an excuse. I'm
Hmm.
not a messy person. I don't like messy people.
Hmm.
Um, could I be petty sometimes? Absolutely. And I would
Hmm.
be lying to you and telling you no. Now, what I'm not a messy individual.
Right. Right.
I think we all have a little bit of pettiness inside of us. And people even have to realize, and I hope this still kind of stay on the same subject, but people even have to realize that pettiness, like, I can be petty with a parking spot. Like, nope, I was here before you.
Hmm.
I could be petty and not letting you out or cut in front of me at the light because I'm running 5 minutes late. Nope, I got to get there before you. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think there's different levels and degrees of this thing that we just saw. I
Right.
mean, again, I know I said, well, hey, has she not been running her mouth? Because it's deeper. Again, I think we all can say it's deeper than just a haircut or her medical condition.
Right.
It goes back, and it could be some bad blood between him and Chris, or like I stated, Jada could. I mean, she rolled her eyes and made the face. I think that was just a look of disgust because of, I think he ragged her back, like I said, in 2018 when she boycotted, um excuse me, the Oscars, then when she didn't go. So
Hmm.
I mean, and like you said, we're on the outside looking in.
Right.
And the whole question is, when are we going to become mature enough to uplift people, like to
Right.
encourage? And I just find with some individuals, it's much easier to keep dogging you and to keep putting your heel on their head, right? As
Yeah.
opposed to, hey, let me get down here and with you and help you and lift you up.
Right. Right.
Uh,
Um.
Nobody want, again, I'm gonna keep saying it, nobody wants to be to be held responsible. Nobody wants to be held with the responsibility of being responsible. I mean, but we all call ourselves grown.
Right. right. You know, um I even think of the people who are in, say, Will's sphere of influence
Uh-huh.
that have connections with him. My hope is, as much as people, even those who are, other comedians, um, who are in that craft, even with, say,
Mhm.
Chris Rock. My hope is that even if they had something negative to say, right? Because there are several who've had negative to say. And the reality is, Will was wrong. He knows
Mhm.
it. I know
Yeah.
as of today, he resigned from the academy. Um, this will forever be a stain,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
It will forever be a stain. I don't even know what Questlove won an award for, because he was immediately after his Oscar win was immediately after
Mhm. Yeah.
this entire debacle, right?
Mhm.
I have no clue what he said. I saw his mouth moving, but
Mhm.
my jaw was so on the floor,
Yeah.
and everybody immediately got on social media that I have no clue. I think Questlove needs a do-over.
Yeah.
Um, but I really absolutely hope that these comedians, these actors and actresses, people that are in Will's sphere of influence. Because here's the thing: all of us that are out here with so much to say, we don't have an invitation to the Oscars, right?
Mm-mm.
At all. We just out here running our mouth. But I hope that the ones who are really in his sphere of influence, even the ones, like I said, that had maybe negative to say, in the public,
Mhm.
I really hope that even if they don't agree with the actions,
Yeah.
are able to have a conversation with him to just share. And
Yeah.
I do think he's remorseful. It was absolutely clear that he was remorseful. But I think even as we talk about just in counseling, in coaching, in all of the social, emotional wellness settings, um, when you are living, when you are in an emotional state,
Mhm.
it is impossible to think with a rational mind,
And
right?
that's so true. That's the
When you are
scary part
guided,
about it.
yeah, when you are guided by your emotions, when your emotions run you versus you
Running
controlling
your
your
emotions.
emotions,
Yeah.
you can't possibly think with a rational mind.
Mhm.
Because when we are emotional,
Excuse me.
that means fight or flight takes over, which means
Mhm.
all our body knows is there is something that is harmful. And whether it is something mental, physical, the mind doesn't know the difference. The
Mhm.
mind only know that the body needs to protect itself. And we saw that play out. We saw someone who was driven emotionally,
Mhm.
and who could not reel it in quick enough to think with a rational mind.
Mhm.
Now, here is where I go as a woman. And you know, people may think it's wrong. I don't think I really particularly care. I don't think it's cool for my husband, my partner. I don't think it's cool or a badge of honor to wreck their character
Mhm.
at the expense of protecting me,
Mhm.
right? Um, am I saying I don't want to be protected? No, that's not what I'm saying. But at the expense of an entire reputation,
Mhm.
no. I actually asked my husband. I said, how would you have dealt with this, right? And I honestly agreed with his take on it, which was
Mhm.
the same take. Several other men I've heard, Steve Harvey was one, that have said things to the effect of, you know, I would have made sure to defend you in the way of, like, if we needed to leave, like if I saw that you were hurt, if it was
Mhm.
affecting you, we could leave, right? I would make sure to get you out of that situation.
Mhm.
I've heard men that said, hey, at the first commercial break, I would have personally gone to him. I would have personally gone to Chris, and we would have had that talk. We would have had that dialogue,
Mhm.
but it would not have been in that moment.
Mhm.
Because I think as a woman, I never want to I don't ever want to sacrifice my husband's character
Mhm.
for an emotional moment. And for me, that's what it was. It was an
Mhm.
emotional moment, and it showed the power that we as women have,
Mhm.
cuz Will was clearly cool until she wasn't,
Mhm.
which says
When
we
she
we have the power.
Mhm.
Like the power of you. Hey, listen, we have the power, but sometimes I don't think as women we honor the power
That
we
word. That word. But here's the thing, and like, we might be just be playing devil's advocate. Did she honor last year? I mean,
I don't think so.
no,
That's the
absolutely
thing.
not. With a
That's the thing.
capital N,
Yeah, no, I don't think
she
so.
did not. And I
Mm-mm.
just think that there's some things that that need and should be sacred
Mm.
amongst married couples.
I
Again,
don't
I
care
am
who's my
married and
brother,
divorced,
right? Like
but I
let's
do know
let's
that.
let's take romantic out of the picture. I don't care if this is my dad.
Mhm.
I don't care if this was my brother. I don't care if it would have been my cousin. Defending my honor,
Mhm.
I, as a woman, as a black woman,
Mhm.
don't protecting me from an emotional situation such as that
Mhm.
does not equate to, hey, I'm okay with you going out here
Mhm.
and ruining your character permanently
Mhm.
for this one moment, for this one temporary moment.
Yep.
I would have felt bad. I would have felt bad if that were my dad. I would have
Mhm.
felt bad if that was my uncle, cousin, just guys that I just know. I would have felt bad if that was the recompense for so-called defending my honor and
Mhm.
protecting our family. Because there was a better way.
Oh,
There,
absolutely.
there was a better way to defend her character. There was a better way to protect the family, in which it did not have to be that public moment.
Mhm.
Acting a fool in public does not does not say it's the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
And I, as a woman, I can't be proud of that moment.
Mhm.
I don't think I could ever be proud to say, like, oh yeah, my man, girl, he protected me.
Mhm.
I would be completely mortified
Mhm. Mhm.
if that was the way in which he chose to protect me. Because even
But
when
did he
that,
protect her or did he protect himself?
I don't think he did either.
No, it was just out of they laugh and ha 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 ha. And it was just a react again, just a react. It was just a bad.
It was a
It's
bad
amazing. I will say this. It's amazing how one incident can happen in 5.2 seconds that will change the trajectory of your life
right,
forever.
right.
Like this is something that, 30 years from now, we'll still, you know what I'm saying? Like we'll still you remember when? You
Mm,
remember when? And we'll see it, like what? 30, it seemed like 30 minutes later there were memes and there were gifs that were
mm,
just going around. I'm like, goodness gracious. Like,
mm.
but again, it also shows you that people wait on that kind of stuff.
But here's the thing: we won't even get to honor King Richard.
Oh, absolutely
It was,
not.
it was that should have been such a profound moment.
Yeah.
So again, I as a woman, for all of the chicks, for all the women who are out here thinking like, yeah, I want a man like that. I want a man that's gonna go to bat for me like that.
Yeah.
I'm here to trash that entire scenario.
Yeah.
Like it irritates me.
Hmm.
I'm literally like spinning in my chair because it's just I can't even I can't imagine that any man, any male figure in my circle
Hmm.
having that platform. I can't imagine the men in my circle that have the platforms they have, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
And let's just say in your local community or just in your local city or or region or whatever, you have a ton of respect, people that rock with you, that follow you, that support you, and you tarnish it for something like this
Hmm.
because you can't go back and undo it.
Hmm.
So I think it's a sad day. I think it's a really sad day when we as women will co-sign on some foolishness like that.
That's one of many sad days because there's a lot of women that co-sign on foolishness.
Yeah. I don't have an opinion. I'm just saying. No,
Yeah.
technically that is my and I'm saying it because
Yeah.
it's it's dumb. Like I don't know another way to say it. I know this is probably not the conversation people thought we would be having.
Hmm.
Um, but I think as two women
Hmm.
on a platform where we're trying to be transparent and we're trying to trash the dumb stuff, right?
Hmm.
Like trashing the dumb stigmas and just
Yeah.
the way people think, the way people view women.
Hmm.
I think it's important for us to stand in our own truth when it relates to things like this.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I think it's a sad day when we as women, knowing the power we hold,
Hmm.
choose to use it in such a piss poor light.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. So
The power of the P.
the power of the bee. Exactly. Cause that thing, boy, woo,
Hmm.
got that man up to slap another man
Hmm.
on national TV. There is power. So, ladies, be careful.
Just got to
Like,
be
be careful how
careful.
you use it
It.
because you can build or break.
Hmm.
And I had a girlfriend of mine that was asking me, she's like, "Yo, um, like man, people are giving Jada the business." And so I wasn't even really on social media this week. And so I was like, to be honest, I didn't know people were giving her the business. And she was asking me to weigh in on thoughts as to why. Um, for me, that's why.
Yeah.
Because as a woman looking upon another woman who knows exactly the power she holds
Hmm.
and that has the key to build or break, what I am sad to see is a man who is slowly breaking.
Oh, he's. Yeah.
He is
He's breaking, if not
slowly,
broken already.
yes.
Yeah,
And
and we saw that.
mhm. And to know that she absolutely has a lot to do with it. I'm not saying it's all her, but we have the power. We have the power to build, we have the power to break. And when we choose to use that power to break, um, even if it's to make our own selves feel better, because sometimes I think we will allow a man to be broken and we will use our power to break a man because
Absolutely.
we have been broken,
Hmm.
right?
And
And
that's
and
true.
and sometimes I think it may feel good to see a man willing to be broken for us,
Hmm.
but it doesn't make it right.
Mm-mm.
Doesn't make it right.
No.
So, all right, I'm done because I feel
Yeah.
this little vein right here.
And I think you're,
Like,
yeah, I think that's the uniqueness about you and I, because I mean, our opinions are different about it. And I think my whole had I, if this was English class and the teacher would have been, okay, I need for you to write a term paper about this. I would only have an opening, like my paper would have my name, the date, the class, the teacher's name. I think that's what we put on there, right? It's been so long.
uh-huh.
And I would have said, she should have kept her mouth shut, period. And that, I mean, that's like really all that I have to say.
Hmm.
And it's, I mean, again, it's more than what we saw last year, right? I think this has just been something that has been building up over time, and it played out in front of 16.7 million people that watched this particular event for
And wait,
whatever reason.
we've not yet heard an apology from her.
No. And are we going to?
Mm-mm.
No.
For me, just an acknowledgement,
Hmm.
right? Just an acknowledgement that you know I I am saddened that in order to defend me, this was the way it played out.
Hmm.
Because that is never what I would have wanted. To just
Hmm.
even to just even say that, I think would
Uh-huh.
make me just see it a little differently. But yeah. Okay. I think we've trashed it. It's been trashed all
At
week.
least you did. I just don't have an opinion. I'm just saying she should keep mouth shut. That's all.
Listen, I look, this is one of my this is an Achilles heel to me. This is like
Yeah.
a thorn in my side from
Yeah.
different angles, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, I just think we as
I
women
understand.
we just
I
gotta be.
do. I understand.
And you're right. She should have kept. She did. But
Hmm.
again, she has the power. We as women hold the power.
Hmm. Yeah. Oh, I bet you the Oscars are. I bet you they will. Uh, sit and think now. Comedians and where you sit. I mean, everything. And unfortunately, it takes one bad apple. And I'm not saying that Chris is a bad apple, but it takes one bad incident to hurt it for everyone else. But here's
Listen,
the thing:
there were
nobody's
many, there were many jokes made during the
exact that
Oscars that were a
exactly
lot more
worse than what
derogatory.
we saw.
Absolutely.
He didn't
So,
call her out of her name.
mm-mm,
But again, I think it was more than that than what we saw. But
absolutely.
hey, I don't
Anyway,
have an opinion. I'm just saying. And if that was my term paper, my English teacher would have given it back to me and be like, big fat elf, excuse me. And I'd be like, nope, I'm not doing it. It's just going to bring my grade down because I already know I had an A in this class. And so if you give me an F and it's about what 50% of my grade, so my grade is a C now. So I am going to get my credit, but I stand by that. Keep your mouth shut. Point blank, period. Bible
gotcha.
says a woman that runs her mouth is like a dripping faucet.
Now I don't think it tight quite said it like that, but I like the term.
Nagging, that word.
All right, so I think we've trashed it,
I
and
think so.
so yes, yes, I feel a little lighter, just a little.
Well, good. I stick by mine. Keep your mouth shut.
All right, guys. So when you hear this, make sure you leave us some comments because we really want to know what you think. Make sure you're following us at Trashed It on both Facebook and Instagram,
Yeah.
and make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Okay,
Episode.
Link is-
Absolutely.
yeah, the link is in the bio, so you can either watch it on YouTube or Apple, Stitcher, anywhere you listen to your
Tell your girlfriends.
yes, and share this with your girlfriends because we really want to know
Yes.
what you think on this subject. Bye.